Hello, my name is Ivy, or Asanti Ivy, and welcome to The Spaceship. First episode, hello, I am not home. I'm not where I plan to really settle this podcast, but hello, welcome, and I hope you're here to stay. I hope you're here to enjoy, and let's get started. I have my trusty The Scream themed artist book. It's my personal artist book that I keep to keep myself just on track with my artistic endeavors. So before we get started into today's topic, which is decentering blank, and more so centering yourself, we're going to have story time. We're going to have literally a little bit of everything. You know what I'm saying? A little bit of everything. The main point of this video is not to discourage you from making connections. It's not to discourage you from going out and seeking friendships and experiences with other people in the world. I think the purpose of this video is to encourage you, the viewer, to do what I have been on myself and on the people I do and used to call my friends, which is using your discernment. I used to be very heavy on that in the sense of verbally discernment, use your best judgment. But it's very important to use discernment for yourself, for your own benefit. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, without further ado, let's get into today's video. Soul preservation. I was writing very fast, and for some reason my E didn't want to look like an E on this paper. But yes, soul preservation. I feel that is the main topic of this video. Decentering blank and centering your soul. So the analysis is going to be about our need for community, genuine connections, and accountability. More so how these things will affect you. I want to wrap it up with a personal account, story time, and maybe one final analysis, because I just love analyzing things. While we're doing all of that, this is really an opportunity for me to introduce myself. You guys get a little sprinkle of my personality, and honestly, it's the beginning of a very, very fun podcast, I guess, era. Not in makeup, as you guys can see. I'm actually in very comfortable clothing. That is by choice. I am starting this podcast on a very natural, calming, let me hold your hand and introduce myself before we really settle into our roots, settle into what I really want to do here. This is a drag podcast. I will be in drag moving forward, and if not in drag, a full beat. But please do not be mistaken. This is a drag podcast. You're either with it or you're not. Need for community. Let's start with, what is community? When it comes to me, community is your support system, the people around you. It could be your family, your friends, acquaintances, community. People you don't even know can be your community, your neighbors, anyone who is in your vicinity, and you guys maybe have a collective goal, collective vibe, whether that is just to survive. It is a community. As people, as humans, we need community. We are social creatures. We thrive in groups and social spaces. And time again, across humanity's existence, we've proven that we work better together. Now, let's scope this in on a smaller scale. Person to person. I do believe every person to have the most peak idea of mental health, of stability, that emotional safety, they need community. Let's get into the second portion, genuine connection. You can't have community without genuine connection, without that genuine way of being. Without genuinity, you kind of fall short. Is genuine connection. Genuine connection is the ability to be around other people without having some type of alternative motive, or this need to do something else. You know what I'm saying? That need to do something else usually is for your own self-gratification. Genuineness. The fact that, hey, I can look at you, I could want to do something for you, and I know I may not benefit off of it. I may even negatively be affected by it. But It's the compassion, it's the care. So many things can make a person genuine, and so many things can make a connection a genuine connection. But in my opinion, it is that compassion, it is that selflessness, and it's that care that a lot of people lack nowadays. We have our need for community. We explained the genuine connection, why those things are important, or at least I'm hoping you're starting to understand why those things are important. Now, when you're navigating life and navigating through different types of spaces, if you are seeking these things out, I feel the biggest thing you need to hold with yourself is accountability. Oh, guys, I was holding my phone the wrong way this whole time. I hope the audio wasn't too bad, but I digress. Oh, when you're navigating yourself through these spaces, it is very, very important that you hold yourself accountable to a couple of things. The fact that whoever you concern yourself with, they're going to affect you in ways that you may not see on the surface. They may affect your life in ways that you may not see on the surface. Bunch of different things. But you may think to yourself, well, if they're affecting you, how does that turn into you taking accountability for anything? And I'm going to explain that right here and right now. So the reason why you have to take accountability for at least your part in knowing them, how long you're keeping them in your life, and I guess how long you're going along with the things knowingly, that is what you're taking accountability for. If you're noticing, hey, these people I'm being around, or even if it's this one person you're being around, and you're noticing time and time again, things are going on in your life or things are starting to happen in your life that wasn't a problem before, and you can logically link it to your surroundings being this person. But for whatever reason, whether that is fear of being alone, whether that is, I don't want to end the friendship, or whether you're not thinking it is that serious, the moment you consciously make that choice of this person or these people or this environment is not good for me, and you continue to keep yourself there, at that point, it is partially your responsibility. My edges are already curling up, but I'm not putting heat on my edges to keep them down. I do apologize. We will get them slicker next episode. You guys are going to love these puffy edges today. So, yes, how this will affect you. That's the accountability portion. When you think about how these people, these environments, whatever it may be, when you're thinking about how they may be affecting you, yes, don't take that full blame and place it on yourself. That's not what accountability is. Accountability is being logical about it. It's being fair about it. And it's understanding this is where I went wrong. This is where I could have went better. And placing the rightful blame, and we can not use the word blame. We could use the word accountability. It trickles down to the same words to me. But you can put the right accountability on everyone. This environment was bad for you for these reasons. These people were bad for you for these reasons. And you were being bad to yourself for staying around it. I fully and partially, not partially, I am fully, to an extent, talking to myself here. I wholeheartedly do think that any critiques, anything like that I have for past friendships, any different story times, I have to hold myself partially accountable because how I was raised partially. If I find myself in a situation and I end up fully hating the situation, I am fully upset and angry, the first thing I think to myself is, how did I get myself here? I didn't get kidnapped and put in a van and drove into this friendship and you know what I'm saying? What actions did I take to get myself here? And what will I not do next time? That is accountability. Trust and believe. I reflect and reflect and reflect on this is where I went wrong. This is where I should have bowed out, where whatever the case may be. I promise I'm not just sitting here trying to clock somebody. If we can all clock ourselves. We can all clock each other. Let's just go in a row. Let's sit in a circle, the clock circle, Buki. You know what I'm saying? So what's next? Okay, I think we are nearing the story time portion, and it's much less story time and more so personal account, and I don't want to be sitting here giving these kind of thoughts with no basis. I've had many friends back in my home in Southern California and where I am now in Northern California, and they've all gone in very different ways. And I feel like there is something I can say I've learned from every last one, good and bad. I think what prompted me to want to make this the podcast topic, like decentering, centering yourself, is the fact that since moving to Northern California, I do feel like I've gotten to grow and learn myself a lot better than I did when I first moved out here. Part of me moving out here, I wanted to learn about myself, just something. I think of myself as a very interesting and complex entity at times, and I wanted to understand that entity a little bit more once I came out here, and I definitely do think I have. I've connected with my love of art more. I've connected with my soul and how I feel like my soul is meant to navigate this planet and this life. I've been on a journey. And though I feel since I've gotten here, everyone who was on this journey with me is not there now. More than anything, I'm thankful to have gotten all the way to this point. And I'm excited for what the future is bringing me and what I'm bringing myself. I cannot stress enough that I am actually very happy with where I am in life and where I'm going. And I can see it. Going up and up from here. This podcast is a very small part in the things that I plan on doing with myself. And I've already been putting in a lot of work in the sense of work for my own mental health, work for my emotional stability, but also work for my life. I've accomplished a lot at a very young age. I've done a lot in my few years of living on this planet. And I went from being very tired and very drained and very artistically blocked, everything, to ready. I feel ready. I'm motivated. I'm hungry to do everything I want to do. And I can't wait to take you guys on that journey with me. Oh my goodness. But okay, back on topic. So personal account / story time. Regardless of what is, I guess, regardless of what may be believed by many people involving my story time personal account, I would like to give a disclaimer. I would like to give trigger warning and disclaimer. Let's do that right now since we're here. Okay, so disclaimer: this personal account and story time has themes of betrayal, sexual themes, drama, many headaches. There are threats that will be mentioned, lots of different things. This video isn't meant to be a stressful video. This video, I hope, is not going to give a stressful vibe. The story time might be, but you know. I'm going to introduce the characters, but here is the story time. What are we going to title? This is how my ex-best friend had sexual relations with my ex, allegedly used my intimate items. We're just story time of how my ex-best friend became my ex-best friend. Let's keep it there. Let's introduce the main character. The first character is the ex-best friend. We're going to call her Brianna. Breonnana. I don't know, something like that. Then we're going to bring in another character that will be mentioned a little bit later. This is, you can consider her a henchman. I don't know. Her name is Bam. Bamm. Bam. And then the ex in question, we're gonna call them a bad decision. If there are more people in the story, we're gonna pause. So we hope you guys the table of context. We're calling it the table of context. Yes, we're calling it that. Let's start at the beginning. I want to preface with a few things first. A lot of questions may come up, and I'll try to do my best and answer them with context. I'm not somebody I don't think I'm a confusing person. I think I'm very simple. Yada yada whatever. Let's preface with a few things. Both parties are in the wrong, being the ex and Brianna. both in the wrong. Yes, this story time being that we're talking about decentering toxic connections and all that good stuff. Yes, we're going to be talking a little bit more about them. Both parties are in the wrong. Both parties are in the wrong. I could go on about how they're both wrong. I can go on about the ex. I can go on about it. I could. But in my opinion, I do think there are an abundance of relationship topic videos, podcasts, everything. I do think you can find a video of someone talking about their ex. I do see people talking about, I guess, friendships, best friendships, connections and stuff, but I guess not how I am thinking of it. This video is going to get darker and darker, and if it comes down to it, I'll turn on the light, but I'm really messing with the low lighting. It's very cute. But yes, both parties are in the wrong for this. Bad decision was exactly that, a bad decision. I suffered horribly, and I should have left the bad decision sooner, the way the story time plays out. I did not leave as soon as I should have. I'm not going to say it's my fault. It was my first time, getting cheated on, but we deal with things however we deal with them, and I dealt with things the best way I could. Oh my god, hold on. We need a break. We need a second. Hold on. I don't know what to call that. We have new lighting. It's dark outside. The buildings do look beautiful in this city. I will always give credit for that. So I'm going to call this portion of the podcast, I guess, the current threats and the reason why the story time and personal account is even being added. I've been planning on making a video on personal connections, I guess connecting back to your soul, which I will get more into that topic later. But now for the story time. Side note, I did have 2 guests who were planning on joining me for this episode. Life happens, we get busy. The other person is actually a childhood, I guess, classmate of Brianna, and a high school classmate of Brianna as well, who experienced the same thing that I did. They're not in San Francisco right now, and they gave me permission to use the story based off of our messages. They were supposed to join me for this podcast, but I don't think they're available today, virtually or not. But with still keeping everything anonymous, we definitely will be getting into all of that later. But let's go back to the preface, because I was a mess. Please do not mind me. I'm reading from this book for my own organization. So to preface, both parties are wrong for this. Bad decision was exactly that, a bad decision. I suffered horribly and should have left sooner. If you are in a similar situation as to what I'm about to explain, I'm going to give you this advice now. As an eldest sibling, as a big sister, leave as soon as you can, no matter how you feel, no matter nothing, no matter your pride, anything. I'm going to go into more personal, I guess, when I'm giving my personal analysis towards the end as to my reasonings for things, but we'll get into that in a second. Brianna is getting her one glance of attention because this person has exhibited violent behavior in the past, of me knowing them, and they've exhibited violent behavior now. So not only for the documentation, but also for the sake of, I think that it just really coincidentally falls into the topic of this video. We're going to get 2 birds with 1 stone. Why not? I am a free person, I have free will, and I'm an adult. A video of what I mean by the fact that I've seen violent behavior exhibited, and I would also like to include screenshots of Brianna and Bam threatening, as of this week. It's Sunday. This happened as of this week. Brianna is somebody I met while I was still a minor, still 17, and the way I have it written down, Brianna decided to forsake our friendship for momentary pleasure in February. This photo that I want to include is from February 22nd. It's crazy because when I took this photo, our intuition works in very crazy ways. Things tell you, your body tells you, you know things before your brain has that information and, validifies it. But more than anything, I took this photo, I took a bunch of photos that day knowing something was happening. But I'm somebody where at times I do allow things to happen the way they naturally happen, because sometimes I'd rather not look crazy and lash out over something I feel, lash over something I think, and then be wrong. I didn't want to be wrong about something I felt to be so heinous as that. I cut contact the moment it was verbally confirmed. My intuition had been telling me something with her was off, but that's my fault for not listening. The question you may be asking, so how did she do it? I'm sure that's okay. So like how? Okay. So, well, as much as I'd love to have her here to detail it for you guys, here's what I know, as in what I've been told. I wasn't there when the acts were happening. I do know she went on Instagram and tried to detail it in some attempt to, I don't know what the attempt was. I think the attempt was to bother me, but it just, okay. That's what it was just okay. I met this strange woman when I was 17. I'm freshman in college. It was me in a new place trying to experience something different, experience something new. I wanted to make new friends. I didn't really care about fitting in, but I just wanted to find community. I wanted to find genuine connections. We're decent friends, and I cared for her until I started not messing with the vibes of the group we were all in at the time, and I removed myself. It wasn't anything deep with her then. It wasn't, I don't know. I wouldn't consider it me being on necessarily horrible bad terms. I was being told very negative things about her by other people who were part of the group, but from my personal experience with her, I had some unsavory experiences, but it wasn't anything in my head I think would be worthwhile in my brain. It was just stuff where I was just okay, I could just distance myself and life will go back to normal. Before it got to that point, I cared about her very deeply. I want to go into my care about her and more so my side of the connection of the friendship, because this is all about genuine connections. And granted, I do think I could say, yes, I'm a genuine friend, this and another, because I am, but I do think to an extent that is up to the eye of the beholder. If I'm calling myself a genuine friend, I need people to back it up and be oh yeah, she's a genuine friend. Yeah, I've experienced this friendship with her, whatever the case may be. And I do think there are people who would, but I'm not going to sit here and rag about how I'm this genuine person, But I'm somebody who was raised off the principle of treat others the way you want to be treated. Don't do anything to anyone that you wouldn't want necessarily done to you. If you do something and you're mad that the same exact thing happens to you, you shouldn't do it. And I usually hold those principles and those standards. She comes back in my life. I'm 18 now. I have my own space, living my own life, doing my own thing. And I remember this thing she told me when she came to my house. It was actually very funny. I had posted on my notes about something, needing my hair done. Responded, actually got my hair done. It was a perfect, meant to be kind of moment. And I remember she was over in my space, kind of seeing how I live. And she told me, you have such a peaceful life. I never forgot that she was in my kitchen and she was telling me, and that was the first time anyone had ever told me that. It was the first time I ever really kind of thought about it and realized it. And I was yeah, I do. And I wholeheartedly I did, It was a very beautiful and peaceful life, and I didn't know it or appreciate it as much, but but back to what I was writing. I didn't appreciate it enough, but I did have a beautiful, peaceful life. I still do. Nothing has changed. My life is very much so peaceful and beautiful. It literally just has evolved. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. She told me that sentence in August of last year. I let her move in with me not too long after that. I'm not gonna go into the details of like why it was a position of moving in with me, but I will preface and say that I was looking for a roommate already, and I ideally, if I wanted to do what I was supposed to do, which was find a roommate who for sure can pay, because that's what I needed. I needed a roommate who could for sure pay, and I don't have to worry about this. I instead just offered the roommate position because the position was needed. It was no thought behind it. It was that I'm giving that as an example of the type of genuineness I expressed in like thinking that it would be reciprocated. Because side note, side tangent, when at least back then, when I would navigate through friendships, relationships, connections, whatever the case may be, my idea or thought process would be, if I go about things in this way, if I express these kind of actions or whatever the case may be, I'm going to like receive it back. And not even in like I have to receive it back, but just receive it back. And even whether that's just the warm, loving energy that's back, whether that's just anything. If I offer you my presence, I hope I have your presence too, and not just I'm sitting here and you're just noticing me just here. If I'm talking to you and I'm telling you about my interests and I'm like asking you like questions of like, trying to get you included in my life, I want to do the same for you. I want you to tell me about yours. I want you to include me in your life and interest too. Not all of them. Make sure there's a boundary and standard. But I'm in my head, it's like a reciprocal kind of thing. The reason why I offered such a thing was to, for one, show and express the fact that, hey, I care about you. It's been a long time since we've been friends, and I want you to know that like your well-being matters to me. And also, I like you so much. I think I'm comfortable with you living with me. I think I'm okay with this happening. Like, that was my kind of expression or my like act towards it. You know what I'm saying? Don't know if that's relevant, but that's just something I wanted to add. Lived in an apartment, my name covered for about 5 to 6 months. And I wrote, to which there were many signs of animosity that I perceived or too many times excused as self-hate. I'm going to take a pause and explain what I mean by that. Saw the animosity. I don't mean that every single day it was hateful, hurtful, No. Even for me, hearing it from other people, like conversations of how I'm being spoken about. But I mean stuff like how I'm being joked about in front of friends, or just certain things being said that I myself wouldn't say to another person. I'm tired of the whole red flags argument, but I do think that things like that coming from someone who is calling themselves your best friend is concerning, is in my opinion. If I was the problem, I was always somebody who was completely okay and content with the conversation of, hey, this is not working. Hey, I think we should just like split and go our separate ways. So, and if there was ever a problem, I was somebody where I always said the conversation could always be open for it as well. So that is why in this moment, I physically cannot see myself as the problem. Do I see myself as a saint, as this? No, I don't. I don't feel myself as a saint or as a person who does no wrong or anything like that. But I don't think I am wrong. And I don't think that, I don't think that I've done anything morally questionable. I knew my morals, I knew my ethics, and I believe I followed them to a T, and to this day. I'm hungry for success, completion, hungry to do things I know I'm capable of. My problem has always been my need to do it with someone. I always look to quote unquote make it with someone beside me, and this is where the part of the video of like centering your soul, how to be happier, like focusing on yourself, you never again will I ever like do that or try to have that mindset. I spent my time trying to awaken and heal the soul of someone who was never my problem. I did it out of love and care, and it did nothing but show me exactly why I will always need myself before anyone or anything. You didn't have to do that, but you didn't have to do that. I know where I'm going to go exactly to where I said I did it out of love and care. I think decentering it is exactly what you need to do. Decenter that blank, decenter that whatever you need to do, and center yourself. And let's go more into it, because I love going on these side tangents, but I have to edit all this and make a whole separate video on why your fear of being alone is like holding you back. But that's not today's video. So going more about like the details of story times of what happened, now that we have like a preface of who Brianna is and what happened. So those photos I showed you earlier, February 22nd, around this time is when I found out. How I found out, went into the house, and it was just weird vibes when I got back in the house. Turns out, while I was out the whole time, they were like messing around. I went to the library, I went to the park, I bought them McDonald's while they were messing around at the house. I didn't know. I go back to the house and give them their McDonald's. I say thank you. I'm on the couch because me and the bad decision are like having an argument going through it. What immediately peeped weird to me, and when the getting into it was happening, and like the okay, I'm gonna just be out here, I'm just gonna, what I'm saying, Brianna kept herself in the room and like in the vicinity closer to bad decision. Mind you, she met bad decision January of this year and met me at 17. She 18. That was like weird to me. Even if my friend was in the wrong, I wasn't. But even if my friend was in the wrong, he would have just found me around my friend. Peep, that was weird. Okay. Knew something happened that night and a whole big outburst happened over it, but I didn't have the proof. He's like that meme where it's like, I know something's happening, but I just can't prove it. It was exactly that. The next day, I go into the room and they're in bed together. She's wearing my mother's blue dress that my mother had gifted her when I took her to visit my family in like December. And they're laying like head to head, toe to toe. And I'm like, okay. Bad decision knew that I knew that we just knew. So bad decision, hurry up and sits up, and the day progresses, we're moving past the day. I don't say nothing about it yet because the conversation will be had. I just didn't know when. And bad decision asked if it looked like anything was going on between them. At that moment, I knew. At that moment, I knew, because like, how was that even a question? And I asked him, like, is there? Like, is there? Defensive? No, very like, almost like, it was just, I'm gonna say disgusted to ask. Like, well, why would no? Why? And I'm like, okay. Let time go by. Bad decision got sick. I'm helping them, and in this sick, pays. And mind you, I'm helping way more than like somebody in my position should be helping. And I'm, helping them into bed and everything, and they flat out told me, and that's exactly what I was waiting on. They flat out told me that, like, exactly that they did stuff while I was at the house. They kissed while I was in the house. She did stuff while wearing my mother's dress that she gave her. All this. Like, oh my goodness, all while being like, oh my goodness, she can't find out, a whole big, like, argument blows out, like, the next day, or, like, oh my goodness, I'm getting, like, the timeline mixed up, because, again, a lot was happening around this time, and I mentally, like, blocked a lot of this out as, like, I progressed through the year. But a big argument reaches out because I'm being accused of things I didn't do, while other things are happening while I'm being accused of things they're guilty of. And so I'm like defending myself. I'm trying to explain. I'm trying to, I'm in there trying to explain myself on some like defense lawyer type, and Brianna's not defending me at all. At all. Brianna's actually on their side, like I did something wrong. She was talking mess about me to like to other people. And like on a side note, I was getting all DMs and stuff like, oh my gosh, you're so corny for making a podcast about, oh my goodness, for one, the idea that a fire song would ever make a whole like podcast about someone is crazy. My story said it'd be a story time and how my year's going and about me. And as you can tell, the spaceship, it's a drag podcast. It's about me. The only reason, really, if you really want to clock it, the only reason why like this person is being included in the story time is because like in the middle of the day, not middle of the day, I'm lying, it was like the evening, I was taking an evening nap. I like woke up to a call. I don't answer calls I don't know. I'm black. I was raised not to do that. I don't answer calls I don't know. Unless I think it's a job, unless I think I'm expecting it, you know what I'm saying? Was not expecting it, I let it go. But I accidentally sent one of those things where it's like, I'll text you later, or sorry, I'll call back. Like a screenshot. And then I get this whole big chunk, this essay of a thread over something I didn't even do. Bro, it's in my like post-nap haze. I'm sitting here like, what? And so I call the number. I call back because I'm like, who was threatening me after my nap? And it's Brianna. bro. Okay. So I don't know. I didn't. After my nap, that was kind of sick. And you didn't even like verify if what you're like threatening me about is true. Unfortunately, we live in an adult world now. We're no longer children. We're no longer in high school. We're no longer in these lower like levels of life. You can't threaten another adult and not like expect anything. Like I said in my story, any and all threats have been documented. I remember her like yelling at me, telling me I'm not gonna talk to her like she's a little girl, this and that and the third. And I answered, I was talking to her like a little girl because she was speaking like one. And not to say that like that was the best thing I could have said at the moment, but that's exactly why the conversation to start off wasn't genuine, it wasn't peaceful. And to be frank, they like when this conversation was happening and she was yelling at me not to speak to her like a little girl, she was sleeping with my then partner. Why? And like being genuinely weird in the house. By weird, I'm talking about like took all of us on a seafood boil dinner. The bill was over $100, covered it, no problem, no nothing. I wanted it to be a cool night out. That decision told me that when afterwards we're in the bathroom trying to take cute photos, Brianna turned off the lights and was touching on Brianna. Oh, sorry. Brianna was touching on Bad Decision in front of me, turned off the lights while I'm there, and touching on Bad Decision in front of me. If that is true, that's crazy. Yeah, that whole big blow up thing happened. I defended myself exactly how I should. Posted a note on my story that said, I know who the genuine people are around me, and I know it's not you. And it was for Brianna. Bad Decision convinced Brianna that it was about someone else, so to calm her down. It wasn't. It was about Brianna, because you weren't being a genuine person. You weren't. You were not a genuine connection. But while in the hallway talking to Bad Decision about this note I posted on my page, she was trying to fight me. She was trying to fight. I'm gonna beat her. I'm like, what? Over a note? How old are we? Over a note? I know who the genuine people are around me, and it's not you. And you want to fight me when you are actively sleeping with a person I was with at that time? Like, actively went outside and calmed down only because Asante can't know about. I told Bad Decision, I believe y'all can have each other. I bet. Or she's going to leave, because coexisting is not an option at this point. You can either you guys can have each other and I'll dip, or and Bad Decision was talking about how Brianna manipulated her into it, basically, and she didn't even want to do it. She only did it because of the accusations, and how it was it was a whole thing. And I stupidly in the moment was like, well, if you were manipulated into it, do not do what I did. If you were manipulated into it, I mean, no, you can't be manipulated. No, not post the situation. Received a call August 31st and missed it. Then I received a text. So mind you, I've been receiving calls like randomly. They've stopped for the most part now. I don't know if they're going to continue again. I don't know. They're going to be documented regardless, screenshots and all. But when something's related to Brianna, I'm going to include a screenshot. It said, you should want to be cool. Like, Brianna ain't got older sisters and cousins that's really like that. Okay. And then Brianna even responded to like the story. I'm gonna put a screenshot in, but even responded to the story saying, if you want to make a podcast about me, Asante, let's be careful about the information you're putting out there, because I can start talking to him. Mind you, the talking, like from what I was told, was her like the talking, like on her story, she was like, I think that was the whole one. It's like, make a podcast. And then about like a crush I had at 18, I was like, you're a dumb little you're a dumb little girl who was gonna do anything. No. I mean, I had a crush. I was a girl. I was just a girl who had a crush. And then, oh my gosh, bro, he was talking about another thing about how you're on FaceTime doing the joke on FaceTime, which you were literally standing there doing it right along with me, that you're making fun of me of. You were literally excited doing it right along with me. I don't understand why that was something you thought. I don't understand why that's something you thought I would like. I don't know. What else? I don't take threats being sent lightly. I work too hard in my personal life, in my mental health world, in myself. I've worked too hard in general to kind of succumb to this type of energy, these type of things. I really am above it. I unfortunately really am. And not necessarily sit here and say I'm better than no. I think I'm better than the type of things that are being talked about. I think I'm better than the type of actions that are being threatened. I didn't do anything worth any of this, in my opinion. When I was called from the nap and didn't answer, and I accidentally sent that, like, oh, I'll call you later. I was never planning on calling later. I accidentally pressed a few buttons. I'm a little old sometimes. Matter of fact, I'ma just send this. You're a literal piece of shit, Auntie. Bad decision. Went through something. And she's basically proclaiming that I said a bunch of things about the something that I never said. Criticizing my current life when she's not in it. It has nothing to do with her. Her opinion isn't relevant in my realm of existence. And she was saying I was defending your name even after you said you wouldn't care if I ended up on the streets. She's like, well, guess what? I got my own place. In 2 short years, I'll have my own apartment. No one helped me do anything. I did it on my own. You're demonic. And when I see, best believe it's up. I don't know why this person felt the need to tell me that they're housed when I am not a part of their life. Defending my name is a lie, because after she did what she did and was told to leave, I was told by other parties who could literally verify it that she was sitting in another person's house, quite literally clapping her hands, and oh no, I'm gonna use that. Oh, you heard that shoulder pop? She was quite literally clapping her hands, jumping up and down on the couch, screaming, "I fucked your bitch! I fucked your bitch!" over and over and over again, as if that's like something to be proud of. And in the recent, like, I can talk about things too on the story, she's talking about how Bad Decision, I guess, currently wants her and how I need to go get them. Bad Decision, audience, ladies, gentlemen, girls, gays, and people who want to stay in the closet anyways, Bad Decision has been out of my life for like months now. I've been separated myself. Who they decide to mingle with is none of my business, and I don't know why she thought it was. I gave plenty of opportunities to go to Brianna. I quite literally would be like, do you, like, the door is open, like, please let me know. Let me know today. Let me know right now. It was very much so open. There was no, nah, let me know. Because if I'm not wanted, I'm not wanted. I don't need to, trust me. The moment your eyes are for anything else, your eyes are not for me. I apologize. I could have been left alone. I could have been like, just, you know what I'm saying? On a genuine, personal, and deep level of like ending this story time, ending this like, oh my gosh, this is my personal account, as to like why I think it's so important to just focus on yourself. Forget the friendship, forget the thing. If it's not helping you, throw it away. Is because at any point in time of the friendship, this person could have not been my friend. After this person did what they did and I cut them off, it should have died there. But, and this is where I'm going to go into kind of like where you really have to decenter these type of toxic connections. There is no way from a connection I severed on February, March of this year should still be relevant in any kind of way on literally September, beginning of September of this year, end of August. Like, it makes no sense. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. And in my opinion, these are the type of connections that I feel if you keep around will fully kind of smother whatever light, whatever ambition, whatever motivation you have. Because I do genuinely believe that these type of people cannot stomach certain people elevating, or maybe elevating past what they believe they can elevate as. And in my head, when it came to this friendship in question, that was never a concern because I wanted them to elevate just as much as I wanted myself to elevate. I cared so much about Brianna and I's friendship and connection that I wanted nothing more than both of us to skyrocket and go to the moon together. But there are certain things you just genuinely cannot help, and you just have to like leave people with their where they stand. But this is also a great example of you can leave somebody where they stand and they will still walk after you. This is really kind of what this section has been, like final analysis. You are the most important person in your life. No friend, no place, no outer entity, anything is more important than yourself. If you want to go accomplish something, if you want to go do something, it is fully up to you. No one is coming to save you. No one is coming to do anything for you. And that's not to have this pessimistic view of the world. It's to have this sense of you are going to save yourself. You are going to love yourself. You are going to be the one accompanying yourself to that finish line. And these are all things that I feel like I really needed to hear on a deeper level. Based off of that message I sent to Brianna was messaging like people around me and talking about like, where is she at? I'm gonna get this bitch, bro. She's talking about this. You want a problem so bad, and there isn't one. There can be a problem in court though. We can settle it there. We wholeheartedly could. Yeah, I don't have real problems like that in real life. I'm so sorry. Yes, this video has kind of like taken the life out of me, this podcast, and just a moment for us. I feel like we've been talking about too many other things. A moment for like you and me, because think about it. First episode, I wanted to come as like my natural human self for you guys. So let me talk about it. I'm gonna include a little like story for my close friends that kind of perfectly like encapsulates what I was going on about. This is the spaceship. Welcome aboard, and I hope you enjoy your time and stay here. Every episode should be different. Some episodes are gonna be a lot more chill. Some episodes are not. Yeah, I want to sit here and drag and talk about whatever it is I want to talk about. My drag name is Ivy the Human. Ivy being my name. My drag is something that's very beautiful and important to me, because to me it's a lot more than what people kind of think of average drag. I have younger years ties into drag, and I stepped away because I really didn't like how I was being treated, honestly, as a black woman. That's literally it. I didn't like how I was being treated in those spaces, but granted, I was a lot younger, surrounded by a lot of younger people, and I let that discourage me from really continuing. But I've always had ideas of what I wanted to do. I've always had the talent, makeup-wise and personality-wise, to start. I'm ready to like actually get back to like what makes me happy and stop thinking about other people. That's like the whole point of this video, and I guess why also I think it's just so beautiful that this is like the start of my podcast too. I can't like the fucking video said, I cannot stress enough, it's about me. It's fully about me. This is mine. This is my space. This is my area. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. I love you regardless. Yeah, that kind of concludes today's video. We will be posting every Sunday, ideally. Some days we'll be sitting, some days we'll be standing, some days we'll be traveling, but either way, the goal is I should be either in drag or full face. The human, well, the not human part of this shouldn't be showing too much, but I want to introduce myself. Hello. I want to post on YouTube and TikTok. I'm sure I'll post on Instagram and other places too to promote. My edges are fully fluffed out. That's how excited I am. And yes, it's now 9:44. I need to edit. Thank you so much for watching. Love you. Mwah. And you guys can get out of my spaceship now.